English Language Academy. Practice makes perfect.
Listen and practice.
What I like most and least about myself. I was trying to think up the best and the worst things about myself. I think the best thing about me is that I am very friendly. I have a lot of friends, and they all like me. I try to be good to my friends. I don't often have arguments with people. I think that I am quite easy to get along with. The worst thing about me is that I sometimes feel sad. Sometimes I don't feel sad for any particular reason. I just get into moods where I am depressed. Sometimes there is a reason to be sad. I was sad when my pet frog died. I was sad when I lost my favorite baseball card. On those days, I'm still nice to my friends, but inside I feel like there is a heavy weight in my chest. I think that everyone feels sadness sometimes. I try to do things that make me happy whenever I get into one of my sad moods. Last Saturday, I felt a bit sad, so I called up my friend John and asked him if he wanted to go to the movies. We went to a comedy. We laughed all the way through the movie, so that by the time the movie was over, I didn't feel sad anymore. My friendliness is my best trait, and my sad moods are my worst traits. I have to work at getting over my sad moods more quickly. Being sad doesn't do anyone any good. There is no use in feeling sorry for oneself.
Listen and practice.
My weekends are busy and exciting. My weekdays at home are busy too. I have 2 sons, Dylan, 7, and Dakota, 5. Every morning I get up 1 hour before them at 6, and I go to the gym. I come home and I make breakfast. Then I take them to school. On Mondays I always go shopping. I buy all the food for the week. I often cook dinner in the evenings, but not every day because I don't like cooking. Fortunately, my husband Don loves cooking. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I visit my father. He lives on the next block. Every afternoon, I pick up the kids from school. In the evenings, Don and I usually relax, but sometimes we visit friends. We never go out on Friday evenings because I start work so early on Saturdays.
Listen and practice.
David is an architect and Rosa is a doctor in a large hospital. David gets up at 7:30 a.m. and takes a shower. He leaves home at 8:30 and goes to work by train. He arrives at the office at 9 o'clock. Rosa gets up at 9:30 because she doesn't start work until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She goes by bus to the hospital at 12:15. David finishes work at 5:30 p.m. and goes shopping in a supermarket near the office. Then he goes home and cooks dinner. He eats alone in the kitchen at 7 o'clock, and then he usually watches TV in the living room until Rosa gets home at 10 o'clock. She often has her dinner in front of the TV. David goes to bed at 11 o'clock, but Rosa usually goes to bed a little later.
Listen and practice.
My house is fantastic. It's right next to the ocean. I have a lot of rich neighbors. Some of them are famous actors. My house has 10 rooms, and 5 are bedrooms. Almost everything in my house is white. The floors, the walls, the sofas, the carpets. I also have a swimming pool, a private screening room for movies, and an exercise room. I live here alone. I'm not married at the moment. My ex-wife is French. She lives in Paris now with our 3 sons.
Listen and practice.
Airport islands. Incheon International Airport in South Korea is built on a man-made island between 2 natural islands. Incheon is one of the busiest airports in the world, but it wasn't the first airport on a man-made island. 2 Chinese airports and 5 Japanese airports are built on man-made islands too. The first was Kansai International Airport in Japan. Airports are often built on islands because there isn't enough land near big cities. Airport islands are big, about 4 kilometers long. They are often connected to the mainland by long bridges. The bridge from Incheon to the mainland is more than 20 kilometers long.
Listen and practice.
In Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, tourists like the clear blue ocean with pretty tropical fish and coral. The land is very dry and sandy, and there aren't enough beaches, so people have built islands in the ocean. The first area of man-made islands was Palm Jumeirah. It has hotels, stores, and thousands of homes. The Burj Al Arab in Dubai is one of the tallest hotels in the world. It's 321 meters tall. It looks like the sail of a boat, and it's built on a small man-made island.
Listen and practice.
People in some parts of the world have as much food as they need to be healthy. People in other parts of the world don't have enough to eat, and sometimes they are so hungry that they can die. In some places, people can't grow crops because the weather is too hot and dry or too wet. This often means that they don't have enough to eat. Sometimes people can't buy food because of a war or a natural disaster like a bad storm. Maybe food is too expensive and people don't have enough money to feed themselves and their families.
Listen and practice.
Healthy food helps people to stay well because it has lots of important nutrients. When people grow food, they help themselves and other people too. Some people have a garden or other land where they can grow fruit and vegetables for family and friends. Maybe they can't provide all the food that they all need, but they can help. Farmers grow most of the food that people eat. In Asia, farmers grow a lot of rice, and in Europe, they grow a lot of wheat. In North America, farmers grow a lot of corn, almost 50% of all the corn that's grown in the world. Farmers also grow vegetables like potatoes, carrots, and onions, and fruits like apples, oranges, and bananas. Some farmers raise animals so that people can eat meat like chicken and beef.
Listen and practice.
Red blood cells. People and other animals have different types of cell to do different jobs. Cells are different shapes and sizes, and this helps them to do their different jobs. Red blood cells have a very important job to do. They take oxygen from the air to all the other cells in an animal's body. Animals need oxygen to live. Blood cells travel around an animal's body through blood vessels. Red blood cells are small, round, and flat. They look like tiny, soft cookies. Their shape helps them to move through thin blood vessels.
Listen and practice.
Mines. Coal is a black mineral that people burn for heat in homes or factories. People dig mines to get coal and other minerals like gold and diamonds. Open-cast mines are big holes in the ground. Huge digging machines take the rock from the mines. Sometimes, people use dangerous chemicals called explosives to break the rocks. Underground mines have tunnels deep under the ground. Miners work in the tunnels and cut the rock. It's very dangerous work because rocks can fall and water or gas can get into the tunnels. The world's deepest mines are in South Africa. Miners work more than 3.5 kilometers underground.